Gun Owners of America supported over 30 candidates for Congress who were victorious in the 2010 elections. One of these new members is Lou Barletta from Pennsylvania's 11th District. We sat down and talked with Representative Barletta in his D.C. office.
Hunting is a major sport in northeastern Pennsylvania, so much so that we had a day off, first day of deer season, and so I grew up in an environment where it was common. I mean, we wouldn't even think of trying to restrict folks from their right to own a gun.
You know, you're in Congress right now, but a lot of people in the country still know you as Mr. Mayor, the mayor of Hazleton, Pennsylvania. What made you decide to run for mayor, and how did that time, you were mayor for 10 years, how did that time impact, if at all, your view of the Second Amendment, the right to keep and bear arms?
Well, I never anticipated running for mayor. It wasn't something that I ever wanted to do growing up. I never wanted to get involved with politics. I was a business owner, and it was during that time of growing my business that I started to pay attention to government, how it was intruding in my business, how it was over-regulating, how government was interfering and becoming larger than I had ever known it to be. When we get to the Second Amendment, I think it's clear. My fears were true. Is that we had a government that was going to overreach, that was becoming bigger. We had other mayors who wanted to restrict the Second Amendment rights. So I've brought all those principles here with me, and so that's why I have no fear at all that I'm going to be a member that's going to stand up for the Second Amendment.
You ran against a well-entrenched incumbent. In fact, you ran against that person twice before you were finally victorious in 2010. What made 2010 different from the other two tries, and specifically, how did you reach out to the gun-owning community and sportsmen in that election?
What has changed really was in 2010 was the discontent of the American people with Washington. The congressman that I ran against became part of Washington and was a symbol of all that was wrong here in Washington by not really understanding what the people back home are feeling and struggling with. So I believe it was that wave of, even though I'm a Republican in a Democrat district, people know that I was somebody that stood up for what I believed in, even if it wasn't politically correct. I didn't back down under pressure. And Gun Owners of America were great friends of mine in those campaigns, and I appreciated that very much.
You mentioned other mayors. A mayor from New York City, Michael Bloomberg, has formed an anti-Second Amendment group, Mayors Against Illegal Guns, and recently he did a tour across the country pushing for more restrictions on the rights of law-abiding citizens. Put yourself in the position of an advisor to mayor. What advice would you give them in terms of how they approach the Second Amendment?
There's no question that if we want to deter crime, anyone that's even considering coming into my home unlawfully will hear my shotgun loud and clear, and that's the biggest deterrent. If there's any mayor that believes not allowing your citizens to protect and defend themselves and to defend their homes and their property and their rights, we would see a country where criminals would literally rule this country. So I believe these mayors are misguided, but I am one that would advise mayors to if they really want to talk about reducing crime in their communities, it wouldn't be by taking or restricting gun rights to its law-abiding citizens.
Right. Congressman, thank you very much for your time. We appreciate you taking the time. We know you're busy, and we'll let you get back to work now.
Thank you.